What's up, everybody? How you doing? There's another case I want to cover here, and I've been covering this case too, as well as Commander Anthony McNeil case. This is a case where William McNeil Jr. arrest footage. I want to say that cops were racial profiling him and did racial things to him, but body cam has been released over the couch. It shows him driving, and what did he shoot him driving in, like rain and everything, without no lights on or anything like that. He had drugs in the car, he had weapons in the car. He driving with a suspended license. And he refused to follow the laws, what the cops said, and everything. They asked him that. I'm gonna show you the video right here. They showed his side of the video, but it's showing the cops' video of what really happened. He's gonna show you what they done to him. It didn't show what he did to them. That's just another excuse for Black Lives Matter to get involved, or try to get money, or racial profiling, let's say. This is right here. I'm gonna show you the video. Also, the guy here named Officer Truman, he's a YouTuber and everything. He's pretty good and everything. He covered this case as well, because this case, what they're doing is just another excuse to get money. That's all it is. It's another Black Lives Matter money grab. That's what it is. And everything. Lying to try to get more money out what's going on. That's basically what it is. Lying to the people, trying to grab more money. Because they know, that guy was no black. They know once they use that race card, Black Lives Matter people going to get involved. Start raising up in arms. Well, fellow black men didn't do nothing wrong. But knowing in the back of their mind, when a cop asks you to pull over and you show hatred, resentment to them, it automatically puts them in training. They're trained for this kind of situation and everything. You don't want to follow, you don't put your hands up or anything like that. Show them that you're trying to cooperate with them. You get aggressive. You lock them doors when they want to see license registrations. You telling them, yeah, I want to be that kind of person. Yeah, I'm going that route. Yeah, I'm going to take that kind of insurance. Yeah, you're going to have a problem with me. And everything. And it shocking to me that instead of paying attention, you automatically, those cops are racist. Oh, they're racist. They just target the black man because they're racist. This Jim Crow, all good. No, motherfucker. If you do not follow the rules or follow the law, what the cops say, then therefore they have reason right to do it. Yeah, he busted the window. But here it is, you don't show you here what I'm doing right here. Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. There's inclement weather. You don't have your lights on. Two things: you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights, and it's not raining. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement.
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof.
Driving on suspended driver's license is wrong. Disobeying a lawful command is wrong. Your son got arrested, was found guilty. What are we even talking about at this point? It's a money grab.
Yeah, what it is.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notification anytime I go live and make a video. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. And also, make sure you go to Tatum Store to get all the cool merch, and also go to Synergy Life so you can get your products from Synergy Life. I do not sleep without Synergy nighttime drink. And when I want sustainable energy throughout the day without crashing and all of that crazy stuff, and something that tastes really good and natural, I take my Synergy Day. Get you some at SynergyLife.com. I had to just throw that out there. But anyway, what is going on in the world? Again, I find myself still talking about this guy that got slapped in the face in the car on a traffic stop. I want to let it go, but I can't let it go. People are making videos about me, and I have to say, there's this fake lawyer, and I say a fake lawyer because he probably is a legitimate licensed person to practice law. But some lawyers, just because you have the title lawyer, don't mean you're a good lawyer, don't mean you're a reasonable lawyer, and don't mean you know what you're talking about. Same thing with police officers. Just because you're a cop, or just because you was a cop, don't always automatically mean you know what you're talking about. You have to point things out fair and impartial and therefore people will respect and support what you're saying. And this attorney that made a video about me is wrong. In the comment section, I exposed that he's wrong. And then I have another attorney that, in my opinion, is practicing law like he's supposed to. He is correct. And go watch his video. Watch the guy that lied, who I think is deceived, and then watch the guy who told the truth. Make up your mind. But let's talk about this video that has gone out. And now McNeil Jr., who's hired the most corrupt attorney, in my opinion, who's an ambulance chaser in the history of the country. All he do is chase civil rights claims just to get people paid out. I wonder, will he ever disclose how much money he make on these civil rights claims? And he only do it with black people. And not one person that he support or promotes was following the law. 99% of all the people that Benjamin Crump has supported, the officer has always been acquitted. Almost every case that the officer has been acquitted. All he's doing is getting money. He's not getting justice because he knows that the person who he's representing was a complete fraud and did everything he wasn't supposed to do. But he want to get the civil rights claim to make money. Okay, let's watch this press conference together. And who in their right mind think that the press conference or the statements in the press conference from McNeil Jr. and his dad, or even Benjamin Crump, make any sense whatsoever? Comment in the comment section. These people are living in another world. Roll the clip.
That day I just really wanted to know why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out the car when I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was really just scared.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean you just wanted to know why you were pulled over? He told you why you were pulled over. He told you. You just didn't want to accept it. All right, let's keep watching.
To see that video made me go back to the moment when I was 22. It hurt. It made me upset. But I seen what my son did that I had to. And he sucked right. And he did right. To see that it's a hurt feeling. To be a father that loved God first, and to see all my kids not being able to wake up in the morning and get a phone call saying their child is gone. That's a hurting feeling, but I thank God because God got it.
I don't like when people put God in it. But like how do you say I believe in God and my son did what's right? No, your son didn't. God would never accept the fact that your son was being belligerent with authority. The man told your son why he put him over. If your son disagreed, he could just be like, all right, whatever happens, I'm going to take it to court. That's the legal process. God would be expecting your son to abide by the law. And then the funny thing is, he doing all this fake crying and my son, he did the right thing. Your son is driving on a suspended driver's license with weed on it, with a big old knife on the floorboard. In a simple point of the cop saying, this is why I pulled you over. No, go get the supervisor. No, they ain't why you put me. They ain't even allowed. Shut the door and slammed it in. If my son ever did something like that, you ain't never gonna catch me on TV defending him. I don't care if the cop punch him in the face or not. You ain't never gonna catch me defending that. Now, if I think the cop is wrong, I'll address that, but I also address the fact that my son was wrong. Driving on suspended driver's license is wrong. Disobeying a lawful command is wrong. Your son got arrested, was found guilty. What are we even talking about at this point? It's a money grab. Let's see what Benjamin Crump got to say.
I want you to try to put yourself in our shoes. Try to put yourself in William's shoes just for a second. The police stop you and tell you, you say, why are you stopping me? And they say, well, you don't have your headlights on and it's raining.
You're supposed to have your headlights on to begin with.
There's no rain. Why are you stopping me? And all he does, while it says a Rosa Parks 21st century moment, he as a black person says, you know, I'm tired of it. I'm going to try to demand my constitutional rights
That's the only thing that William McNeil did. And that's the only thing you would want your children to do. To say, as a citizen, don't I have the right to know why you're violating my Fourth Amendment rights against search and seizure unlawfully? That's it. Nothing more. So search your hearts, America.
Unlawfully.
If this was your child, if this was
You
your
refused to listen to the cops.
When you be proud
When you
that
refused to
William
listen to
kept
cops,
his
they had the right to search your car.
And de-escalated it. And let that govern you when you call on the sheriff to hold these police officers accountable. Because that's what we have to get here. We have to have accountability.
This is why black people ain't never gonna make it as a whole. I'll just keep it real. Like what makes sense? Like I don't get it. He was just standing up. A Rosa Parks moment. A Rosa Parks moment. A Rosa Parks moment. And he did everything he's supposed to do. He just wanted a legal search and seizure. There is no illegal search and seizure on a civil traffic stop.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't gonna search the man's car. He wasn't gonna arrest McNeil Jr. He wasn't gonna do any of that. He just stopped him on a civil traffic stop and said, I'm pulling you over because you had your lights off in inclement weather. The cop didn't say whether it was raining or not. He said in inclement weather, which according to the law, the officer has a right to pull you over in those conditions. Inclement weather doesn't mean that it has to be currently raining at the a precise moment that the cop turns his lights on to pull you over. It's that you're driving in rainy conditions. Mm-hmm. That means that the road is rain. There's been rain on the road. It's overcast. There clearly had been rain. So therefore, the inclement weather argument is very clear. Mm-hmm. And then I think that, in good faith, the officer made a traffic stop. If you didn't agree with it, then in the court of law, you could have contested it. But we all know, if you have paid attention to anything that's going on, that he was found responsible for this. They did not throw out the case, because if the judge deemed that it was unlawful for them to make a traffic stop, they would have thrown the case out, but they didn't. It was upheld. He was found guilty. The justice that was imposed on him, he took it like a man at first, and then now he's releasing the video. It just makes me mad because black people in this situation do not feel like they have to be held accountable to do anything. The cop punched you in the face. You have created a scenario where a cop can use a reasonable amount of force to execute an arrest. And if it's deemed later that the force was unnecessary, then you can talk about it. But none of what you did was necessary. None of what he did was necessary. He did not have to disobey the traffic law. He did not have to argue with the cop on the side of the road when he never had read the statute in the first place. And the funny thing is, a lot of people are watching the video, and I said this from the beginning because I think I'm the only person that's genuine about this by a long shot, is that I said there's a lot of the video footage that's missing from him. What do you know? Like the first 5 or 6 minutes, the guy intentionally edited out of his own video. He edited out of his own video. And you can see that because if you follow the body camera in his video, you can see normally when people start the video, you see them push and they back off the screen and they start doing it. You're like, okay, that person just pushed the button to start the video. But when you look at this, you see the cop say, I'm recording too. And then from the time you say, I'm recording too, to when he started talking to the officer in the passenger seat, he's screaming, he's yelling, he's throwing a fit. The cop is telling him, get out the car, 7 times. And he intentionally deleted or edited out all of the incriminating parts of his actions, just to show him talking to this officer before they knocked the window out. That's why you can't trust Benjamin Crump or none of these people.
Nope.
I would be open-minded to listen to these people if he hadn't edited the video, which he clearly did, because he edited out everything that was incriminating. And then he waits 6 months later to even make an issue out of it. And then who does he hire? Benjamin Crump, who's the ambulance chaser himself. And Benjamin Crump don't get on here and say nothing reasonable. He say he, as a citizen, wanted to make sure his Fourth Amendment right, search and seizure, wasn't violated. It's like you're driving on a traffic way, you get pulled up. Like, think about this for a minute. This is my last point here, and I think this is like the easiest point to ever be made. When you're driving on the roadway and an officer pulls you over, where is in the legal system are you to contest the traffic stop? Let's put this in perspective. Where do you contest the traffic stop? In the legal system that we all adhere to, where would you contest a traffic stop? If an officer pulls you over and they had no justification to pull you over, where do you contest it? On the side of the road or when you go to court? Now let's just play the scenario out. Contest on the side of the road. Where does that get you? If you get pulled over by a police officer, you think it's wrong on the side of the road and you tell the officer it's wrong and he says right, where are you going with that? Is he going to somehow pull you over? Is that what's going to happen? No, it's not what's going to happen. You're going to just get into a conflict with an officer, and then when you start resisting arrest, you're going to go to jail. Why is it so hard? A lawyer knows that. Benjamin Crump knows that. They all know that. You don't contest a traffic stop on the side of the road, especially if you don't know the law. And even if the officer is wrong for pulling you over, you still can't contest it on the side of the road. If you're driving down the road and the officer said you ran the red light and you did not run the red light, you can let him know that you disagree, but you're not going to litigate on the side of the road. It's not like they're going to bring a judge out and then you're going to be able to present your case in the preponderance of evidence to a judge that more than likely you didn't run the light. That's not the way the system works, and it's not going to get you anywhere, and it never has. If you have an issue, let the officer give you a ticket, take it to the court, and you'll be able to argue your point in the court of law. And if you believe you have evidence that it did not happen the way that the officer said it happened, you have your cell phone, you have his body-worn camera as evidence, and you also have his statement and your statement. When you get pulled over, you take pictures of the scene, you take pictures of the environment that you're in, you take pictures of the stoplight, you go take pictures from the corner of the stoplight so you can see the light rotation, and you present all of those things in court. And then, if you think that it was unjust and you violate your constitutional rights, then you can sue the police department. But these people just want quick money. Mm-hmm. They don't want to do what's right. They don't want to follow the law. They think they're above the law. And the crazy thing is that most of the time, you only see black people doing it. Why is it that we don't see video after video after video after video of white people doing this? Why is it only black people? And I can explain to you why. It's culture. It's entitlement. It's culture. And when black people do stuff wrong, they got a plethora of people defending them when they do wrong. And when black people do right, nobody cares. They don't defend them. They don't support them. A lawyer won't represent them pro bono. But when they do wrong, Benjamin Crump will support any black person that's done something wrong as long as there's money that could be made. Tell me I'm wrong in the comment section. I'll see y'all in the next one.
I mean, what?
There you go,
just because you brought it up, could you explain to me how that was okay?
Your adrenaline is out of control because you think I can be killed at any moment right now. I can't see the guy's hands. He got the windows rolled up. Is this gonna be my moment where I'm gonna get killed and I'm never going home to my family? You know, but I still get backlash. People still are mad at me, even though I've been right about every police thing that I've covered. This video is brought to you by Synergy Life. Brought to you by Synergy Life, ladies and gentlemen. If you're sick of being soft, if you're sick of your T levels being low, if you're tired of being a Democrat, why don't you get you some T-Force and become a man today, all right? We had the original T-Force, which is the regular T-Force, and then we made it advanced. I suggest you take this with food and you take it before a workout to maximize. Get you some T-Force today, 25% off, because I hate these white bottles and I want to get them out of here, to be honest. We give you the discount code for 25% off. Get you some T-Force today. God bless you. God bless America. And let's get strong, baby.
Just because you just mentioned it, I just saw, there's that viral video going around about the guy whose window was smashed. I mean, what could you? Just because you brought it up, could you explain to me how that was okay? Because I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, okay and justified according to the law is two different things.
Michael's
right?
a bit of a libtard, so I'm just kidding.
Tell me, I want to know.
No, it's totally fine. I think everybody should question these things and they should hear viewpoints, right? Subjectively, a person may think that it's not okay to strike people no matter what. Subjectively. Objectively, you have to look at the law and the justification for use of force against people at any given time. The totality of circumstances, in my personal opinion, would lead an officer to have that leverage to say, if I believe that a face strike while I'm trying to pull a guy out of the car because he's non-compliant was justifiable for me to execute an arrest, an officer can utilize that force. Now, I don't know if you saw the body-worn camera. They produced the body-worn camera. Oh, that's crucial. They produced the body-worn camera yesterday. The sheriff came out and articulated very clearly what was going on. And so at the very beginning, they pull up, he was non-compliant,
He literally told him, no, I'm not doing anything you told me to do. He shut the door, locked it, and said, send your supervisor. I'm not doing anything. The cop told him 7 times, you're under arrest for obstruction. Get out of the car, get out of the car. You're under arrest for obstruction. Everything the officer did was according to the law. It wasn't even a violent interaction initially. The officer was saying, sir, you're under arrest, sir. And the officer actually told him exactly why he pulled him over. He said, you pulled you over for not having your headlights on in inclement weather, and you didn't have a seatbelt on. And the guy was just completely combative for the first several minutes before he turned his camera on. Then when he turned the camera on, it already has escalated. They have police officers that have responded. They have 6 or 7 officers that have now responded because this guy's not compliant. These situations become very violent quickly. If you've ever been a cop, cops know a guy could be doing all this because he's going to pull a gun out. He's going to pull off on the traffic stop. He's a wanted murderer. You know, there's a lot of things that could be possibilities which will make officers heighten their suspicion when somebody's acting like this over a headlight infraction, which is a civil infraction. But then when you go to extracting them from the car, I think the cop could have went without the palm strike to the face. But according to the law, according to what the Attorney General said, nothing that he did was illegal and out of the bounds of use of force policy. But then when they pulled him out of the car, punching him in the face, it's not pretty, but we can utilize that level of force to execute an arrest. And you saw when he punched him in the face, when he was out of the car, he complied. So those things to the public may seem a little bit extreme, which I understand. But when you're a police officer and you deal with use of force every day, you realize a cop got to do whatever a cop believes is necessary to get this guy under control, because you don't know him.
Yeah, they pay the ultimate price for hesitation or making a mistake in assessing a situation. So for us to watch and say, shame on you, it's like, well, you know what? You don't see all the cops that were killed because they hesitated.
Cops see cops that are killed. They should send us a briefing every day, and when we go to the briefing meeting, the first 15 minutes of our shift, we do briefing, and then we go out and patrol. It's kind of like a little time to collect ourselves before we overlap. Right. But they should send us cops that get killed every day. So every day we get a list of all the police officers that have been killed and the circumstances that they've been killed in. And there's so many cops that have been killed on traffic stop in this very scenario. Where a guy's non-compliant for what seems to be a basic traffic stop, he shuts the door and then he has a gun. And now he's got a reason to be hyped up, and cops get killed. They walk up to the window and they get killed. If you watch the video, the body camera that I shared, and I'm gonna do a breakdown of it today later, you'll see that the cop stands off to the back quarter panel of the car because he has to be in a tactical advantage because you don't know who this guy is. It's not reasonable to get mad over a headlight infraction. You know what I'm saying? So, but then what happened is he had drugs on him. He had a knife on the floorboard. Yep. He was driving on suspended license. He didn't have a seatbelt on, and he also didn't have his headlights on. He pled guilty to all of those. He pled guilty to not having a headlight and obviously resisting arrest, which he was charged for. He was found guilty. It was adjudicated. Everything was fine. 6 months later, he produced this video, obviously in order to make a little money, which he will.
There's an interesting connection here, I think, between the uproar over what's happening in Gaza and this. It's a lot of people who don't have any interaction with bad people and force are just outraged by it being used in any capacity, and they can't wrap their heads around that there are people out there who have bad intentions.
Yeah, you go on a ride along. I tell anybody, go on a ride along. Go on a ride along. And then if you were on a ride along, you would have been at that traffic stop and you can feel this emotion. Like when your life is on the line, when you're watching it from the TV, you're like, oh man, they just rambling and they scuffling a little bit, he slaps him in the face, and then when you're physically there, your adrenaline is out of control because you think, I can be killed at any moment right now. I can't see this guy's hands. He got the windows rolled up. Is this gonna be my moment where I'm gonna get killed and I'm never going home to my family? Why is this guy getting so worked up over a traffic stop? This is a warning. Hey, turn your lights on.
Right.
Is this guy going to produce a weapon? Is this a mass murderer? Is this guy running from the law? Did he just kill somebody? Like,
you don't know.
I felt it when I was a cop. You feel this adrenaline where you kind of get afraid and then you get, kind of worked up. And palm striking in the moment seemed reasonable to you when you're worked up and this guy's uncompliant and there's so much going on. When you go look at it, you go, yeah, he could have won without the palm strike.
I mean, it's the same, the judgment, I think, is rooted in the same place and animated by the same thing as the people who watch what we're talking about with Israel and Gaza, and they're like, these soldiers going in, why did they have to react that way? I feel like, well, does your experience as an officer provide you a unique insight in the way you judge situations in the Middle East or what's going on in Israel and all of these things? You're like, you know, I know that things aren't what they seem as they're portrayed on an algorithm, on a quick little footage from the outside. Having been a police officer, been in combat, been in these scenarios where the vibe and the energy is a very different thing than when you're watching a body cam footage or some kind of security drone. It's a very different scenario when you're in a booby-trapped house or you're doing a traffic stop which could end in disaster. Does that give you a unique insight, you think, in watching all these kinds of things that are portrayed?
In two ways it does. It desensitized me to knee-jerk emotional responses to violence. Because I know I've seen it and I've seen the worst of it. I've seen people literally decapitated. I've seen people get beat to death. I've seen people shot to death. And I physically see them take their last breath. It's an experience that when you have it, it changes the way you look at the world and the way you look at conflict. And I also know enough that you can't always go off of the first thing you see. You have to put things in context and try to put yourself in the position of everybody involved. And just imagine, if you have never seen a person beheaded, like see a head over here and the body over here. If you've never seen people beat to death or what it looks like to be shot with a 7.62 from an AK-47, and the way a person looks when they
rip your body apart,
to shreds by this type of weapon, and you have to pick their body parts up and put them in a bag, and the emotional toll and the smell of gunpowder and flesh and all this. If you have never felt that and been there, then you don't know the fear and the perception that an IDF soldier has against a person that's willing to do that to an innocent human being. How much more are they willing to do this in combat with me? So the height of frustration, fear, anxiety, all of that goes into the interaction that you see with soldiers fighting on the front lines. A lot of these people don't know how many IDF soldiers have been murdered in this conflict, even on October 7th. They don't know how much conflict it is when you're going into Gaza, uncharted territory. You don't know who's a terrorist, who's a civilian. You don't know if it's booby trap. Some of them are getting shot and killed. You don't know if they're shooting from buildings. You have no idea what's going on. But
there you have it, folks. He waited 6 months to release his side of the video out after he edited it. And you can clear it at 5 to 6 minutes of video has been edited out of there. Because it shows the cop's video and it shows his video and everything. And you can tell right in between that 5 to 6 minutes something been going on between that video. He edited his part out, make it like he was the victim and where the cops were the bad guys. That's why, people, you got to fucking pay attention to what's going on. People like him will use the Black Lives Matter to make money. Because they know, oh, the cops being racist, They understand they use the Black Lives Matter because they do not think. Black Lives Matter do not think, sit down and look at the scope of everything. Why, pros and cons, no, they go straight into, oh, this is the white cops. They pick on a black man. What's act? They use the Black Lives Matter just like the Democrats use the black community to get votes. If you don't believe me, go back to every election from 1860 all the way up to now, and you'll see what I mean. Because it has been proven. Joe Biden said, if you ain't gonna vote for Democrat, you ain't black. They're like Obama talking about, oh, we'll get the white man straight, we'll end segregation, we'll end the racial discrimination of cops on black community. When you see racial stuff, they all jump, cheer, roar. It's the same tactic this William Neal guy is using. He is playing everybody, making like he's a victim, he's black, and the white cops pull him over. Not because he's not, listen to what the cops say, they asked him 7 times before what, he did not do that. When they ask you 7 times, you got attitude, you just should get your supervisor. There you go. 1, you had drugs in your car. You had a knife in your car. Texas, you now lie how big knives, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure yet. I haven't followed that law yet. I'm gonna look it up though. They ask you 7 times to follow instructions, you don't do it. Then cops had their body cams. Then you want to reach over and make like after they get riled up. If you jumped all this, that got all hyped, that's when you want to record them getting aggressive. So make like you're the victim and a big bad cop is picking on you. Okay, that's what you call a racist bait tactic. Meaning you baiting people who see the video into a racial judgment. But you don't understand, every single day cops gotta go out here on the workforce. They might not come back home to their loved ones. They might die right there in service. People don't understand that shit. It's just like an army. Once you sign that dotted line, you work for the government. Just like the cops you serve every day, you just work for the community. There's a lot of people out there will kill cops. Don't care if they have loved ones or kids or anything like that. Don't care. I have seen cops get shot at traffic cameras. Traffic stops, records and everything. And some people just kill you over a ticket, or write them a ticket. So here we get back to the story on the yard one pound dog.
You are fighting on behalf of your country and the legacy of the existence of Israel. And you are going to uncharted territory, in some cases to die. And nobody knows the fear of what is it like when I die. You see what it's like when he died. You see what it's like with a gunshot wound to the head. What am I going to end up like him? What is it going to feel like when I take a shot to the neck or the chest and I'm bleeding out? And what does my last words look like? That stuff is a lot more complicated than what the average person sitting on the couch is observing. But I will say this. But you also have to listen to both sides, because you hear the pundits say, they just blew up a church. They just shot innocent people in a feed zone. And then you go and you say, okay, what does the IDF say? And you look at the IDF and they go, that didn't happen. Here is what the video show. Here's the millions of leaflets that we dropped. Here are the phone calls that we make. Here are IDF soldiers escorting innocent people out of harm's way. And you're like, well, wait a minute. That's not the narrative that was told for me. They're telling me that they're innocent killing people. And let me just say this too.
Yeah.
I've been to Israel. I've seen IDF soldiers. They're average people that have to serve. Unlike in America where you can voluntarily serve or not. They're regular people. Do you have the audacity to think that the average woman or man that grows up in Israel in a peaceful environment has it out to just murder innocent people with no due regard, no emotional reaction to it? I don't think so. I've seen those people, man. Some of them look kind of scary. Some of them, like scared. Some of them look like just a little kid. They don't have any choice. They got to serve whether they bad to the bone or not. And so that puts me in the perception to say, maybe there's more to it. How is the rules of engagement going? Let me look at IDF and listen to Palestinians and let me put it in proper perspective.